Happy Friday. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So I want to start with a couple of local, or at least local to Mississippi guys, then we'll kind of branch out from there on Titans conversation. First of all, a new guy, Chance Campbell, who was the Maryland transfer that was at Ole Miss, had such a big season, ended up getting himself drafted. And with where he was drafted, you look like, maybe he makes the team, maybe he doesn't. I think he played more snaps than any other linebacker in the first preseason game. Where is Chance Campbell headed in terms of how much is he going to play this year?
Well, it's going to be a dogfight. You know, the Titans do have a nice middle linebacker room. The depth has been a little bit iffy at times, but sitting behind David Long and Zach Cunningham in that middle linebacker room, Chance has done a nice job so far. I'm not sure he's jumped out on defense, but a really nice job on special teams. And as you said, continuing to earn more opportunity as, you know, camp has progressed here. I think he's come in, found himself working in with the twos a little bit, getting reps alongside veteran Joe Jones. So, right now, I mean, I feel pretty confident about Chance's opportunity to make the team.
You hesitated. I know what you wanted to say. You wanted to say his chance to make the team, didn't you?
Chance's chance to make the team. Yeah, I stopped myself. Didn't want to do the double entendre there. But, I think he'll make the roster. And a lot of his play will be dictated by his impact on special teams. The Titans, Mike Vrabel, they all value a lot of these rookies and a lot of these defenders' ability to be willing on special teams. And Chance has certainly excelled in that area. So I think he's in a good spot right now.
Well, and maybe that's what we forget, right? I mean, we talk so much about first-round and second-round picks and how quickly guys are going to get on the field. But if you can make yourself valuable, you know, whether it's in special teams or if you're a backup running back who can give good carries and not fumble it, or, you know, there are a lot of different ways where you can make yourself valuable and then find yourself having a pretty long NFL career.
Yeah, I mean, the undrafted rookie free agent Jack Gibbons is in that middle linebacker room as well, earning a lot of opportunities as well. The Titans' depth behind Zach Cunningham and David Long is really wide open. And when you talk about those guys that are going to be the first guys in case somebody goes down, it's going to be the guys that are, you know, put together a roster spot for themselves with their willingness on special teams. So, like you said, that is the in for these rookies. And once you're in on the roster, it's just the opportunity to get into a game, make a few plays. All of a sudden, you can find yourself becoming more of a difference maker on the defensive side of the ball, too.
All right, so Jeffrey Simmons, a guy that doesn't have to prove anything in camp. He has proved his worth many times over. Where does growth happen at this point for Jeff Simmons?
I think it's just taking the next step of being more consistently dominant. You know, he's shown, like you said, he has nothing more to prove, but what he's shown so far in training camp, specifically in the joint practices with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers earlier this week, was Aaron Donald-esque. I know he gets that comp a lot of being the second coming of Aaron Donald to some people, but he's just been a presence in the run stop, in you know, pass rush, getting his hand on the football and creating turnovers. So for Jeffrey, it's just going to be more consistency. You know he's dominant most of the time. Can he be dominant and be a difference maker on every snap and continue to bring that fire to the Titans front four that had them at the 1 seed of the AFC? I have full confidence in his ability to do so. He's demonstrated it time and time again. And for a guy that's playing for a new contract, I think that's going to be on his mind, too, with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder each time he's rushing the passer.
All right, Sam, so people kind of went crazy when Malik Willis rolled out to his right, and then he kind of loops around and gets to the outside and then streaks into the end zone and gets a touchdown. And you're reminded, okay, this guy's really athletic, and that's why people talked about him ad nauseum leading up to the draft. But if you watch the entire body of work, it's like, okay, there's a long, long way to go for him at the quarterback position. What are Titans fans, what are people in the organization saying about Malik Willis at this point?
Well, I think it's very different. Obviously, fans, the excitement factor is real, and it should be. Malik has a game-changing playmaker's build with his athleticism, his ability to improvise, huge arm, lightning fast. Those are all qualities that excite the fan. The Titans organization is more concerned about polishing those skills that you mentioned. He has to have a better pocket presence, get the ball out quicker, find the open guy. Mike Vrabel pulled him out of the game in Baltimore because he said he's got to throw the ball to the open man. And that's something that Malik hasn't gotten his timing and his body to trust his timing down yet. So those are the little things. But I think there's a lot of reason to be excited, too. You know, even with all of the bad or all of the inconsistencies that you can see from Malik, you see on the field in Baltimore, sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes your best athlete is just your best player, and when the football is in his hands, he can make something happen. So if you're a Titans fan, you have to be excited about Malik Willis because not only does he bring that electricity, it's something that they don't have in Ryan Tannehill. Now, while Ryan Tannehill can be the more poised quarterback and the better quarterback for the starting job right now, I think the premise of having a playmaking QB to go along in a run-heavy offense with Derrick Henry can be really, really exciting for the Titans fans. And for the organization right now, it's just gradual growth. They're working him in, giving him a majority of the reps at backup quarterback. I expect him to start tomorrow against Tampa. Their focus is getting him as many reps as possible, getting him as many looks, and seeing how much progress they can really make on those little details to refine his game.
Sam Phalen visiting with us, covers the Titans at AtoZ Sports in Nashville. Kind of spent a few minutes with us on this Friday afternoon. Sam, I still look back to the offseason and go, what the heck were the Titans doing when they chose to get rid of A.J. Brown? They decided the price was too high. They draft Treylon Burks. I'm not sure that that's necessarily plug and play. Just talk to me about that decision, even with a few months to think about it, and what Treylon Burks may end up looking like.
Well, it's certainly hard for a fan to understand when you're looking at it from a fan's perspective, because if you're being honest, the Titans are in the middle of their championship window right now. Mm-hmm. You're the one seed in the AFC last year, and that came with Derrick Henry not playing in half of your regular season games. And coming into this year, the thought was, okay, Derrick's going to be back and AJ's going to be back, and we have another chance to maybe bring in a receiver across from AJ who can stay on the field, unlike Julio Jones. And instead, they decide to move on. So the thought process is, if you're John Robinson and Mike Vrabel, trying to extend your competitive and contending window as much as possible. I think it's the same reason they drafted Malik Willis. The Titans very easily could have chosen to draft another wide receiver or draft another player that could help the Titans this year. But instead they chose Willis, a potential successor for Ryan Tannehill, at a cheaper price tag that they hope fits and that they hope hits in order to spend money in other areas and extend the competitive window. So that's the thought process, is if you can replace A.J. Brown with a similar wide receiver or a wide receiver with similar production in Treylon Burks, who's making millions and millions of dollars less, that money can go to Jeffrey Simmons, Christian Fulton, other big players on the Titans roster that are in for a payday, and you can hopefully extend your window. But as you said, it all comes down to whether or not Treylon Burks hits. And it comes down to his production. And so far, it's been a roller coaster, from the conditioning issues in rookie minicamp and minicamp over the summer to now the impressive performances in practice, but then we don't see it in the game, and it hasn't translated to a game yet. I'm kind of on the wait and see in terms of whether or not I like the A.J. Brown trade, because football-wise, it makes them a worse team on the field, but could potentially make them a better organization in the long haul. This all, of course, is dependent on Treylon Burks and whether or not he is the guy that they thought he was. So, you know, if he can put together a good season, I think a lot of fans are going to quickly forget that A.J. Brown was on this team and really enjoy the Treylon Burks era and the fact that they have Treylon Burks for 5 seasons on a rookie contract with this rest of this roster being so competitive.
Well, and so much of that will depend on what A.J. Brown looks like in Philadelphia and what Treylon Burks looks like in a Titans uniform. He certainly was a star at Arkansas. Sam, thanks so much for your time. Good catching up, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.